Joanne Smith very graciously agreed at the last minute to come and join us. She hails from Bartlesville, Oklahoma. She's a 3-time Autoharp Champion. Joanne is well known for her expertise with the diatonic Autoharp. Joanne is a passionate promoter of the Autoharp, and she uses her skills not only to enlighten, but also to teach others about the untapped potential of our unique instrument. Let's give a good California welcome to Joanne Smith.
Thank you so much for welcoming me. So I have just been blown away by the hospitality of everyone here. I've just met some wonderful folks, and we've just had an enormously good time just talking Autoharp and talking music and talking friendships and how music affects all of our lives. And I usually start out my sets by saying, I'm Joanne Smith and I play the Autoharp. And that's kind of how I roll. But I do most of my work on the diatonic Autoharp. So what I'm going to play for you this evening, I've got a couple of diatonic Autoharps with me. They're both in single keys, so they have some unusual chords that you don't normally see on a chromatic Autoharp. And I also do some open noting, that type of thing. So I hope you enjoy. I sure have fun playing it, and I hope you like it too. So anyway, here we go. Okay. This is a song that most of you know. It's by Ron Wall. It's called Patty Ann. that song is just amazing, you know. And everybody I've ever played it for is just like, oh, we've got to learn that. And so I've taught it to a lot of different people. It's pretty cool. Now, it kind of in the one of the things that I like to do too is if I hear a song, I think, oh, that would sound really pretty on the Autoharp, and so I put my own spin on it. And so here's a little something from back in the 60s. It's called Rhythm of the Rain. I go to Winfield, the big bluegrass festival up there every year. And one year there was a song kind of going around the camps that I just fell in love with, and it's called Jenny Dear. And I ran across a recording of it recently, and I decided to try to work it up on the Autoharp. And it's a little ballad about a young boy who falls in love with a young girl, and they're walking in the moonlight, and the lyrics are like, Jenny dear, come walk in the meadow. There's millions of stars out tonight. It's just beautiful. It was written by Doug Elric, and he's he lives in Denver, and he comes to Winfield on occasion. But anyway, it's one of my favorites. I love that song. There's a gentleman here that it's been years since I saw, and I was looking forward to seeing him. As soon as I found out he was going to be here, I thought, oh man, I'm so glad I get to see Carrie again. So Carrie Dubert, back in, I'm going to say 2002, I was at the Mountain Laurel Autoharp gathering, and I had played in the contest, and Carrie was there. And one of the tunes that I played in a workshop or something, it was called Stars for Liesbeth. And after I had played it, he came up to me and asked me about that. I said, you've got to teach me that song. I had forgotten all about it until I came up here and listened to him play so beautifully in the concert last night. And then all at once I thought of Stars for Liesbeth. So I got with Carrie last night. And Carrie, if you'll come up here, we're going to do a little duet of this little song. I think it might have been in the Portland book, the Contra Dance book. So anyway, let me get my...
It was in your brain at any rate.
It was in my brain, yeah. And I had learned it from somebody in Tulsa. It's a really sweet little tune. Like this. Love that. Yeah, it's something magical when you get two Autoharps together, especially something like this. It's crazy cool. This Autoharp is in the key of D, and one of the things that I've been working on lately is a lot of minor modal tunes. As a kid, I grew up in the Midwest. We grew up in a church where we all sang a cappella. And a lot of times when I sit down to play the Autoharp, it's these old hymns that come floating up into my consciousness, and I hear the music and I hear the words, and they're some of the easiest things to fall out of the Autoharp. But yet at the same time, there's other ones that I've discovered recently. One of them is called Sweet Prospect. and it's a minor modal. I think it comes from the Sacred Harp. Okay, and then there's another one that I'm going to do a medley of tunes. So I'm going to do Sweet Prospect, and then from there I'm going to go into What Wondrous Love Is This, and then after that I'm going to do a couple of fiddle tunes, and it'll all work. I hope. But anyway, we'll see. All right, here we go. On Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful eye to Canaan's fair and happy land, where my possessions lie. Oh, the transporting rapturous scene that rises to my sight. Sweet fields arrayed in living green, and rivers of delight. No, is my time up?
She's not done.
Is my time up?
Well,
Is it?
yeah, it is, but we're
Oh.
going to get you to do one more anyway.
Okay. Well, this is the one that kind of put me on the YouTube map, this rendition of Amazing Grace. And she said that the million views type thing, the only reason it's that high is because when I put this up on YouTube way back when, 8-9 years ago or whatever, if you look at how many views it got, there was about 3 days where it went whoop, and then whoop. So it went viral for whatever reason for a very short period of time. But this is the one that I get most requested for, and it's my rendition of Amazing Grace. Thank you very much. Hey. AC/DC. There's two things that are really important to me with Autoharp playing. One is accuracy. Two is clarity. There's your AC. And then the other one is dynamics and color, the DC. Okay. And if you can manage to put all four of those together when you're playing, you can come up with a very, very nice arrangement. You want your audience to know right off the bat what song you're playing. You want them to recognize it. So in order to be able to do that, you want to be able to accurately hit the melody note so that they can hear it. Okay? So they recognize it. And that comes with the clarity too. Clarity is kind of cleaning things up so you keep the extraneous noise from muted strings, adjacent strings, maybe pick clacking or even chord bar noise. You try to keep that to a minimum, so there's where your clarity comes in. You clean that up, so you've got your accuracy and clarity. The dynamics and color have more to do with the feel of the music, the emotion that the music tends to bring out. Okay. So those are my 4 talking points, I guess is what you call them. One of the things that I like to have people do, whether they have a chromatic or diatonic sometime, is just to pick up your harp and try to pluck out a melody without using your chord bars. Just make sure nobody else is home when you do it. You can make really good music that's beautiful. If you mishit a couple of notes, it's not the end of the world. Don't give up. Oh, I can't do it. Yeah, you can. You can. Just keep at it. Keep trying and don't get discouraged. Because those strings are a quarter of an inch apart, it takes some practice. If you're going to play it upright, you need to make the Autoharp fit you, not the other way around. Get your bottom and the back of the chair, sit up straight. Mom was right. You're going to be more relaxed that way. And then find a balance here. The closer to straight up and down you can get this long side of the Autoharp, the better. It's tempting to hold it like this because we have a nice little armrest here. But when I do that, look what I have to do with my arm. Instead of my cording hand coming around here, I've got to adjust that. I've got to drop my shoulder, bring my elbow down lower so that it can come in here and be able to access all of these easily. So I'm making my body fit the Autoharp instead of get this thing more upright. This way I can just reach around here, my hand's right there. I don't have to adjust my shoulder. I don't have to drop my shoulder, raise my shoulder, twist my wrist or anything like that. It's right there. And then when I bring my arm up to play, as my hand falls, naturally just follows the arc of the way it falls, it's going to hit right across that sweet spot of the string. Now if it's down like this, I'm hitting here. So ideally it should, just kind of clear the jaw. How many of you seen someone who has seen an Autoharp for the first time and you hand it, here, try it, and they go like this? Right? Well, yeah, it's kind of too bad. They aren't shaped that way because it would be a whole lot easier than to have this big chunk of wood next to your face. But you lay your ear up against that thing and you got the best seat in the house. Okay? You get to hear all that cool stuff that your audience doesn't get to. A friend of mine who plays Autoharp had an experience one time. She's a storyteller, and she uses her Autoharp as an adjunct to her storytelling. And there was a blind, deaf girl in the audience. She wanted to come up and see Fran after the performance, and so Fran sat her down and handed her the Autoharp and strummed it for her. And it was just amazing because we get to feel the music just going right through us, and it's something that's not quite like anything else, I don't think.